Alright, everybody, I'm back just like I said I would be, and I have that huge, enormous book haul from the book sale that I went to on Friday. And then I did go back on Saturday because it was $1 to fill a bag. So I had my dollar and change. I mean, and the books were good. They were good. I mean, honestly I wouldn't pay full price for them, but I thought, yeah, they're worth a read. So I will show you what I got. Okay, to start off, I have Deliver Us from Evie by M.E. Kerr, which I read back in my late teen years, and I thought it was a very good book. I really enjoyed it. This one I picked up because I have seen the show before. It's called License to Pawn, Deals, Steals, and My Life to the Gold and Silver by Rick Hiaarsen. Actually, I'm reading this right on the screen here, so pretty cool that I can read sideways. And I think it's really interesting. I want to see how the pawn shop world works, the ins and outs of it. So, yeah. Next I have Hoot by Hiaarsen. Now, the reason it's shiny, it's a library-bound book, so it's got the protective cover over it, which a lot of these books do. So, just to warn you, in case you go blind from the glare. I rented the movie. I haven't finished it. I actually returned it back to the library, but I will read it and then I will watch the movie, so I can kind of compare and contrast. So, the next one I have is by Jodi Piccoult. I've never read any of her books, but I guess this has got to be her first time writing a teen fiction book, because most of the books I've seen of hers look all to be adult fiction. So, Between the Lines. Samantha Van Leer? I don't know, is that a character? Maybe she's a co-author? I have no idea. But it looks to be about fantasy and book reading, which, obviously, if you know me, you know that I'm mad crazy about young adult books. I have been for the last few years, ever since, Twilight came out. I know that's probably not a great example for all those Twilight hater people out there, but it was the start on an incredible journey that's still going to this day. The next book I have is Dash and Lily's Book of Dares. And it's a co-authored book by Rachel Cohn and David Levithan, which I have a couple of his books. I tried reading the book Boy Meets Boy. I couldn't get into it. It was his first book that he ever wrote, so I'm hoping, writing style might change a little or something. Maybe he's just breaking his teeth, being it's his first book and all, so we're gonna give it a shot. Now, this next book I have, I actually did own it, and I hate to say this, Jeremy, but I got rid of it and I got another copy. I know, you'll hate me forever, but it was part of the fill a book for $1, so you can't be too mad at me. Huck. It's about this dog who the family goes away and they take the dog to for someone to watch the dog, and the dog takes off. So mostly it's all about them trying to find the lost dog. So it's a really cool, it's a nice read. I love animal memoirs. Actually, that is what got me starting on reading again. I mean, yeah. Love animal memoirs. Marley and Me set me on the way for animal memoirs. So that set the scale. A Part of the Sky. Oh, actually, I'm sorry. I forgot to say Huck is by Janet Elder. Now, back to A Part of the Sky by Robert Newton Peck. And if you have heard of this author, he wrote the book A Day No Pigs Would Die, which I read back in 7th grade. And I thought it was a good book. This is its sequel. So, well, I have to say that I did try to read it a second time, the first book, as an adult, and even though it's not a very long book, I kind of got discouraged by, I don't know, their language. It kind of got on my nerves, so I set it aside. So anyway, this is the sequel. And it could be good, I don't know. Maybe I've grown up since the last time I tried to read the first book. Beverly Cleary, her memoir, My Own 2 Feet. Now, if you know Beverly Cleary. I mean, come on. She wrote all the Ramona and Beezus books. I mean, I grew up reading those books. I think she also wrote Runaway Ralph about that mouse also. But she also wrote a lot of other stuff. I mean, her Judy Blume, I grew up on those books, so. Now, everybody, I am pretty sure, is familiar with Jane Austen, Pride and Prejudice. I am one to admit now, I have not ever read any of Jane Austen's books, but it was there, and I've heard many, many, many good things by people who are huge fans of Miss Austen. Now this book, I've seen the movie, Pay It Forward, with Haley Joel Osment. And it is by Catherine Ryan Hyde. Loved the movie. I'm looking forward to reading the book to get a little more in-depth perception behind Trevor's whole idea. On to the next stack. Waves by Sharon Dogar, who also wrote a book that I absolutely love called Annexed. It's about it's a fictional account of Peter Van Pelz's stay with the Franks when they were in hiding, and I thought it was really, really phenomenal. That was back in November of 2011, October, November, when I was really into reading about the Holocaust. So, yeah, it's called Waves. And by the looks of the cover, has to do with surfers. Now this man, I have all of his books. I've never met him before, but I think it'd be really cool to meet him. Dave Pelzer. He is the child from A Child Called It, The Lost Boy, A Man Named Dave, and Privilege of Youth. This isn't so much a memoir as kind of a book about how to move on in life from things that you've faced growing up, obstacles and everything, overcoming them, and just moving forward. Mexican White Boy by Matt de la Pena. Looks like an interesting read. Now this book, I thought, Jim Carrey is a really funny guy. Well, I mean, back in the 90s he was really, really funny. But anyway, I'm sure he's still funny. So this is called Jim Carrey, The Joker is Wild. And this is by Martin Knelman? I'm just going to go with that. Alright. The T of Piglet. I'm not sure what that is. T-E-T-T. It's like T-A-O is like Tau or something. And that one was like a poo. I've never read this one, but I've heard someone was talking about this and just kind of the stuff about it. I guess if you're really into meditation and stuff like that. This one is King of Shadows, and this is by Susan Cooper. Oh, and by the way, Piglet is by Benjamin Hoff. Now this guy, he's funny. He's funny. Well, I've only honestly ever seen him in the movie The Jersey Girl that came out in 2004 with Ben Affleck. So that's really all I have to judge him by. I did try to watch some of his stand-up on Netflix, and it was alright. But who knows, this book could be funny. And it could be life-affirming in a way I could learn some life lessons from George Carlin. Journey to the River Sea by Eva Ibbotson. Alright, my last book of this book haul is Out of Nowhere. And this is by Ouida Sebestyan. Sorry, I probably butchered that name too. Alright, so we're done with the book haul for now. And I will be coming back in another video to discuss my book ban. So that is going to be interesting because I've never done this before. And it is going to be a very lengthy one. Alright. You all have a wonderful evening.